something is something. And of course, the central state have implemented mainstream policies concerning the cities, but only the cities, all the big cities, of course, infrastructures, highways connecting all the main cities of the country, following also the French policy of high-speed trains, connection between the main cities of the city with high-speed trains, the TGVs. Important, very important, and the social policies. The main actor for social policies, I have said before, is the region. But the state, in the framework of a sectoral conference for social services, has stimulated since the 80s the regions in order to establish a kind of coordinated plan for basic social services in the countries. In Spain, it's a Plan Concertado de Servicios Sociales. And this plan was established in the 80s till today, and it has been a big success to have a common basic framework of local services in the whole country. Of course, it happens in all municipalities, but most of these services are concentrated in the big cities in the country, of course. The same in housing. A national planning, 4-year planning of public housing is passed by the sectoral conference of housing, in a special system of agreements between the state and the regions, even if, from my view, the housing policy in Spain is a failure, it's a fiasco. But anyway, they have tried to implement a concentrated, coordinated policy on this arena. And more important, in the new context of economic crisis, in this year, the state has a directly to the municipalities, not via regions, but directly to the municipalities, 8 billion euros for new infrastructures, 8 billion euros, an enormous amount of money distributed per capita. National funds, yes. So it means that, for instance, the capital city, Madrid, has received for additional, just for investments, this year, 600 million euros. And the next year, for the whole country, there is a provision of 5 billion euros. So for Madrid, it means almost 400 additional millions in 2010 for local investments. So the difference is the approach. This year, the approach is basically for local infrastructures, and next year is more advanced approach, is for new technologies, environmental policy, sustainability, etc. But this is more or less the national framework. And a final policy, the integration of immigration. There is a national policy for integration of immigration implemented by regional and local plans. Of course, it's a mainstream policy, but this policy is much more important in the big cities where most of immigration is concentrated. So there is a special fund, there are special funds for this policy, which is a plan and a cooperative policy between all the tiers of the governments in the country. At the regional level, main trends during the last years. Well, the most important has been that since the 80s, the region in Spain has eliminated all the regional metropolitan regions, institutional metropolitan regions in the country. Barcelona had a metropolitan corporation with about 30 municipalities representing 4 million people, 2/3 of the population of the region, but a very important competitor for the regional government. And as the regional government has the legal competencies for creating or suppressing metropolitan areas, they decided to suppress the metropolitan area of Barcelona for political reasons. The metropolitan area was under the control of the left parties, and the regional government was controlled by the nationalist center-right wing party, Convergencia y Unión. So, and the same did Basque Country with the Gran Bilbao and the Valencia region with the Metropolitan Council of Valencia. And it was exactly the same policy that Ms. Thatcher in the United Kingdom, to change a general metropolitan government, to change it for specific boards for specific policies. A board for public transportation, a board for water supply, or for environmental policies. So, because in this case, when you change a general body for sectoral bodies, politics go to the second level, and technocracy go to the first. The technocratic approaches go up, so it's clear. And of course, they also implement important sectoral policies. I think the most important sectoral policies concerning specific urban issues in Spain is the establishment of public subway systems in the main cities. The enlargement of the subway is, by the region in Madrid has been an excellent contribution to the mobility in the city. Madrid has today 320 kilometers of subway, so 13 lines, more 3 tramways lines, so excellent. In Barcelona, the same, enlargement of the subway, and new subways in Bilbao, Sevilla, Malaga, Valencia, and even draft in other cities. So I think in this specific, in public transportation, very good regional policies, is my point of view. So probably the region governments in the country don't want political structures at the metropolitan level, but they have a metropolitan approach on the main policies in the urban areas. And they put it in practice. Because these metros, these subways, are not metros for the central city, are conceived as metropolitan. Exactly. They include the suburban municipalities in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Bilbao, in all these cities. So I think this is a very interesting policy. And also they have important contributions in the improvement of the environmental policies, water supply, garbage treatment, etc. Well, at the end of the day, I think we don't have, of course, a national policy on urban issues, only institutional approach in the legislation. So most clearly direct, implicit policies. But important mainstream policies in transportation, environmental issues, etc., immigration, integration, etc., which means that big cities take benefits of these mainstream policies because they are the main actors of these policies at the end of the day, even if these policies are not specific urban policies. And, well, that's my reflection about that. To export these policies, I don't believe in institutional transplantation, but at the end of the day, I think we have some interesting experiences, which are, even if you don't have a national urban policies, to have a good tradition of inter-administrative cooperation is very good, and we have that. It's probably we don't have holistic approaches, but at the sectoral arenas, we have good cooperation between the different tiers of government. I think it's the most interesting, positive experience of the decentralization in Spain today. Good experiences in this policy I have explained before. A lack of institutionalization of the metropolitan areas, of course. I think, but it's difficult to even in Italy, you have the same experience with the Città Metropolitana. When you put in front of you a regional government, where most of the population and the GDP is concentrated in the functional metropolitan area, and ask him to build up a competitor at home. It's very complicated. So maybe you can change it for a good system of cooperation between the different administrations in order to find good sectoral policies. That's my point of view about the situation in Spain. We can maybe say that a good informal and informal system of inter-administrative cooperation is a very good tool for implementing policies in this arena. And is the national policy desirable? It depends. Why necessarily explicit and direct policy is good? It depends on which kind of policy. It depends. Today we have local urban policies, but decentralized in the country. Every city has their own policies, cooperating with the other tiers of government. We have listened to our English colleague talking about in England. They are going to changing from central explicit direct to implicit because they are decentralized in the country. And when you decentralize, probably it's almost impossible to have a holistic policy. It's very complicated. Maybe in some aspects, but I think it's very difficult, and not necessarily a direct, explicit policy is better than other kind of policies. It depends on, there are other elements on the table. The relation between the actors is key. That's my view. Thank you.